Okay guys, how's it going? Okay, Grand Theft Auto 4. I've been meaning to do this for a while actually. I wanted to do like a full review, but as some of you probably might know, I actually uploaded some gameplay videos, then they got friggin' taken down by Take-Two. Bastards. So, I'm not really that confident in recording gameplay and uploading it to do a review. So, I'll just review it this way. Now, okay, so Grand Theft Auto 4, the latest in incredible series of games, most anticipated game of the year, blah blah blah. You all know what this game is. Uh, I just want to be honest, I have not bet it, so if you don't think that justifies a solid opinion, then just close the window right now. But I have played it for about 30 hours really. I haven't bet single player. I've played a bit of multiplayer, so I'm just here to give my views. So yeah, first of all, when I've never been a great fan of Grand Theft Auto. I used to play the first one with my friends and my brother. We always just used to muck around, never really paid attention to any of the missions or that, which is what a lot of people do with this series. Uh, Grand Theft Auto became like incredibly mainstream with when it jumped into 3D, and it's probably one of the best 3D transitions ever for a video game. The Grand Theft Auto series, that is. Uh, I barely played Grand Theft Auto 3. I nearly beat Vice City. I didn't complete it, unfortunately, but I loved it a lot. That was a very good game. And San Andreas, sort of the same as Grand Theft Auto 3, didn't really beat it. So I thought this was going to be the first one I was ever going to beat, but alas, I don't know. I just keep getting frustrated with this game. Really, I mean, it's a great game. It's like I can play it. I can sit down and play it, pop it in for a few hours and chill out and have a good time. I mean, the story is really really good. It's not like any other Grand Theft. It's not like the story in any other Grand Theft Auto games. The characters are much more evolved, and like the story, the setting, it's all just really. They've taken it to the next level with this game, basically. Uh, gameplay is like, well, the biggest gripe I have with the gameplay is probably the controls. Now, let me speak out here. They've made the controls more realistic, as they've made the whole look of the game more realistic. And realism in games is pretty much. Oh, someone just signed an MSN. Anyway, realism in games is sort of like my arch enemy, basically. I mean, I'm okay with realism in games, really, but the thing is, if it detracts from the fun, that's a bad thing, and I gotta say that's the case here. I mean, let's just take driving for example. Driving in the previous games was always really easy, really smooth. This time it just feels real and less fun, and turning is always a bitch. But I'll be honest, I got used to it after a few hours, and I started to ignore how realistic it felt. And then there's the shooting. Okay, maybe I'm just being a bitch, and I need Grand Theft Auto 4 to hold my hand while I'm playing it. But you die really quickly in this game, and when and this is mostly due to the controls, like I said. I mean, let's put it this way. In the original, you could sprint like you were Superman, basically. You just had to tap, tap, tap the X or the sprint button, and your character would just zoom away, find cover really easily, and all that. Well, in this game, your sprint is pathetic. You move so slowly, and try and picture this, right? You're running down a hallway, and some guy randomly comes out and starts shooting you. In the original game, all you had to do was press down and X, and he would immediately sprint away in milliseconds. Well, in this game, when sprinting down a hallway, you have to go through the whole animation of him stopping, then turning slightly. Right? I'm sure you all know what I mean. You're just running away, then you've got to stop and then turn around. They've added that to make it look more realistic, but by the time that animation is actually done, I'm usually dead by the time it's done. Which brings me to the next big problem I have with the game, actually. When you're on a mission and you fail it, you get to choose to restart it. That's a lie. You don't get to restart because, well, why? Because every mission requires you to basically drive halfway across the city. Sure, you can get taxis, but half the time you'll have an escort or a specific vehicle that you have to be in. And again, like I said, maybe it's just me needing Grand Theft Auto 4 to hold my hand, but when I usually have to try for 3 or 4 times before I can do a shootout mission, and the fact that I have to go back and drive all the way back to the mission is just always infuriates me, right? Some people can probably adapt with it, but I personally can't. I usually just turn off the Xbox before then. But despite all this, Grand Theft Auto 4, this is how I sum it up actually. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a game that dares you to hate it. You know, I don't regret those 20 something hours I spent on it at all, and I'll definitely try and beat it at some point. Just like this, the story will always drag me, will always keep me going, and the game is fun, and the multiplayer is incredible. Probably the best multiplayer game I've ever played. In fact, it's just like the whole city is the map. We've probably talked about that for years, but in this game, it's a reality. The whole city is literally the map. You can do free mode, cops and robbers hang racing, standard deathmatch. It's just really well designed, really well done, and it's quite impressive considering it's Rockstar North's first online game. So going into this review, I knew that I actually said to myself, "Oh God, this game is getting perfect scores," but I don't think it's perfect. It's going to be like playing It's going to be like reviewing Halo 3. And when I said that to myself, a shocking thing came to me. I actually had more fun playing Halo 3 than Grand Theft Auto 4. But neither game is bad, nor is either game perfect. They're fun games, and you should own them. So yeah, chances what am I doing saying this? Chances are you've already got this fucking game anyway, and you know whether you love it or hate it. Whatever. Overall, I think I'll give it a 9.0 really, and like I said, I am gonna beat it one day, but it's not worthy of a perfect score. I'm sorry. Like I said, restarting missions and the controls and all that, at least not to me. But it's my opinion, so oh well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my sort of rant there. I'll see you next time, guys.